In today's video, we are going to be discussing how to get over infatuation. But first, before we begin, I must tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a man. His name was Joe, and Joe was trying to get over his obsession. He was trying his darndest to get over that obsession that he had. The obsession that he had was with smoking. He loved smoking. He sucked on that sucker like it would suck his soul straight up to heaven. But in order to get over his obsession with smoking, what did he do? He would go out on balconies. He would go out on patios. He would go out on the outdoor area of bars or whatever the heck those things are called. He would go out to these places and in order to get over his smoking, he would take out a smoke and he would say, man, this cigarette is really helping me get over my love of smoking. Every time he decided, I'm going to push to get over my love of smoking, he decided, I'll just distract myself with a cigarette and smoke my cigarette. Now, that's the end of that story. Do you see a problem here though? This guy's trying to get over something, but then he keeps on feeding on the exact thing that he's trying to get over. You see how that's a problem? We're going to be talking about how that all relates to love in this episode of Love Stories with Grady. Hola, my name is Grady Wise-Ork, and I'm a 22-year-old man here to chat about your relational game plan. And is your relational game plan becoming infatuated with someone and staying infatuated with someone? Because, I mean, infatuation is fine and dandy, but if there's nothing rooted underneath, if there's no good within this infatuation, it's not likely positive. Hate to break it to you. However, so many people have a problem, the same problem as Joe earlier in the story. So many people, they want to get over someone, but then all they do is feed on that person and spend time with that person and think about that person. And no. If you want to get over this person, you gotta at least distance yourself from them. You don't maybe have to cut out them completely from your life, but you got to distance yourself somewhat. You got to put up some boundaries in order for you to healthily recover and hopefully move on from whatever's going on in your mind towards this person, your posture towards this person. The content of this episode is inspired by the book Facts of Life and Love for Teenagers from Evelyn Millis Duvall back in 1957. And I'm going to be reading off some things that she said, she talked about within this book. And then after I do that, I will be talking about my own thoughts on this topic. So what happens when you're infatuated with someone that you shouldn't be, or someone that you don't want to be infatuated with anymore? Evelyn Millis Duvall back in 1957 says this, and I agree with her. A boy or a girl, a man or a woman can guide their emotional development and their emotional thoughts if they want to bad enough. Listen, if you're growing attached to this person, there are things you can do to stop that. It might not be what you want to do because you are attached to them, but you need to do it if you seriously want to move past this infatuation. Listen, remove yourself from this situation. Remove yourself from this person's flirting. Remove yourself from flirting with this other person. Don't just sit around and think about this person. Don't just dream about them. Don't look at the stars and say, oh, I wish they were with me. No, be active and do something and engage your mind elsewhere. Go hang out with friends. Go get together with your family. Go support charity physically and being there and helping out. Go do something with your life. Instead of pouting and wishing you would be moving on, move on, like literally take some steps and go to somewhere where it's going to force you to not think about this person. This is how you slowly heal. I'm not saying completely don't think about the things that will help you heal, but there's a point where thinking's not going to do you any good. All right, so that's pretty much all that Evelyn Millis Duvall talked about in this book. We talked a little bit about infatuation, love, how can you know if it's love or not in previous videos, so you can check out those. But I have a few other comments myself. Back in the day, I had an argument with a friend when I was about 14. And, I thought I was pretty smart and intelligent back then. And I probably was for a 14-year-old, but regardless, I was definitely wrong on this situation, or at least I was arguing from the wrong point. The debate was, is love voluntary? And the question is love voluntary? I would say, if I heard that question now, my older 22-year-old self would say, yes, love is voluntary because love is a choice. And if love is a choice, that means we voluntarily choose to do it on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, lifelong basis. However, the debate that I was having with my friend when we were defining love is we were defining it by feelings. Do feelings have an on and off switch? And that gets a little more jumbled. They don't really have an on and off switch. And that was kind of my point when I was younger. They don't have an on and off switch. However, that does not mean that we cannot do things to affect those feelings and to help diminish them and to help them eventually go away. So it might not be an on and off switch like all right, don't care about this person. I emotionally connected myself to this person for years, and then suddenly I don't care about this person anymore. Forget this infatuation, forget this affection, forget these feelings. That's all out the door. I'm fine. I don't care about this person anymore. Easy peasy, bye-bye. No, it's not that simple. But there are things that we can do to affect it. And that's exactly like I was saying before. Remove yourself from situations, focus on other things, dwell on other things, grow your friendships with other people, do those things that will actually benefit you and grow you as a person, and you'll eventually grow away from that infatuation. Not gonna be easy, not gonna be simple, it's gonna hurt, and you might be trying to avoid hurt, but you're not gonna be able to, and I would recommend continue pushing on, and you can do it. I once had a friend call me, this was a few years ago, and this friend was really emotionally tied with this girl, and the girl had no idea that the boy was interested, and the boy still really liked her, and there was this physical attachment. They weren't getting like too physical, but like even the smallest physical things he was really holding on to, and it was because this infatuation had increased. This girl was in a relationship with someone else, and this boy and her, though, they had a strong friendship where they would do a lot together. And this boy was pretty much on the verge of tears, and he was saying, I want to be in a relationship with her. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be with her. And he's like, but I don't know what to do. And ultimately we were talking through it, and I wanted to help him overcome, and he even still went away to college, and he still had these feelings for this girl. But whenever I talked to him about these things, I realized that he was constantly obsessing over this girl. It wasn't like stalkerish obsessing, they were still hanging out. But whenever I would recommend doing anything that would help minimize her in his mind, he wouldn't be willing to do it because he wasn't willing to let go of this infatuation, despite the fact that A, she was in a relationship, B, she likely wasn't interested in him in any way, even if she wouldn't have been in a relationship, and C, she didn't even know that he liked her. He wasn't willing to diminish anything about how he felt because he so wanted to keep his infatuation alive. And here's the thing, you can't push through an infatuation if you're still holding on to it wholeheartedly. If you recognize that someone isn't good for you, you recognize that they're not the right fit for you, you really just need to cut ties with it emotionally, spiritually, mentally, everything. You need to say, all right, I need to objectively look at this situation, say that this is not the right situation for me, this is not the right person for me, and then I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I need to do what I can in order to help myself get in the right mindset in order to say goodbye to this person. Sometimes physically and sometimes mentally. Do it for your own sake, because prolonging infatuation is never healthy, especially if that person is not right for you. All right, folks, that's literally all I have to say on this topic. I appreciate you listening in to this chat. In the next video, we are going to be talking about dating, and in this book, they don't call it dating, they call it going steady. So if you want to know about going steady, stay tuned, subscribe below, and then comment for me. What is one way that you think someone can get over an infatuation with someone? And everyone reading the comments will hopefully glean from your knowledge. All right, have a fantastic night. Adios, and say adios to your family for me and your friends for me, and say hola to them for me as well, because I think that would be funny and cool. Send them this video afterwards so they now know why you said Grady says hola and adios. All right, friends, adios.